the punch? We blowing up the planet, aren't we? Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are here with another reaction to Invincible. We're on season 4, episode 7, which is called Don't Do Anything Rash. I think we're far past that point in the story at this point. But anyways, last episode, we kind of started getting into the war of it all. We had the recovery of Mark after it took a long time. It took him a few months to get back from all of the damage that Conquest did to him. But thankfully, during that time, Nolan and Oliver got a chance to bond and kind of get all their misconceptions out of the way so they're in a better place. And then they basically joined the war, which was kind of going the way of the coalition. But then after the mole situation, which is something we were introduced to last season, came to the forefront, the Viltrumites were able to get to the planet where the coalition headquarters were, and they did quite a bit of damage before. With the help of Thetis, they were able to at least dismantle the ship. The remaining Viltrumites all ran away because they plan on regrouping back on the planet, but of course there's still a lot of aftermath on that planet to deal with. But the plan now is that Thetis is like, if they go back to Viltrum and call back everybody and regroup, then it's going to be very difficult for us to be able to end this. They basically have said the only way we can end this is if we follow them to Viltrum and finish this once and for all. So Mark and Oliver are going to visit the other half of their parentages, like the home planet of their father for the first time. And yeah, apparently we're going to try to do the final battle out there. So since we see my man Battle Beast in the thumbnail, I'm hoping we're going to see some interesting stuff. So let's jump in. But just before I do, a reminder to hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell, and that you can watch an uncut version of this reaction on Patreon if you're interested. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now. The tiniest dynamite in the world? This letting us know that Viltrumites are effectively the colonizers of the universe. Ooh, smooth. They about to try some sabotage? And charge the whole planet.
The species remains unusually defiant.
So this is a throwback.
Clear demonstrations of Viltrumite superiority.
Yeah.
They resist us because we are occupiers. And we are cruel.
Captain Obvious, thanks.
Decimation sets an example, not only for them, but for the next misguided species.
How are you setting an example for them if they're all dead?
Do Viltrumites not respect strength? The courage to challenge one's oppressors?
Clock him! Clock him.
But these creatures, their strength is not true strength.
Oh, resisting adversity is not true strength?
Reduce the planet's population by 25%. If they continue to resist, eradicate them. Emperor.
Look at Krieg's little.
Do you?
They just had to do what he had to do. Unfortunately, he should have killed everyone at that table, though.
Yet ever since he returned from his years in the Ley Quadrant, he speaks of mercy.
So we had a Nolan moment.
If you feel his weakness harms the Empire, take action.
Why don't you do it?
I am mistaken.
Yeah, I'm glad you knew your place. But also shows that Argyle was always a bitch, too. You're running things, you couldn't go and deal with it? Oh. Assassin Thetis is kind of cool looking, ain't gonna lie. They're allowed to have mohawks? I thought everything down to the haircuts had to be the same.
Because of him, all is ours.
Not all. Those people on those planets you said were weak, they're not yours.
There is a sickness in our society, poisoning us from within.
Interesting choice of words.
Might you also betray us someday?
I will not, Grand Regent.
But why are you looking at me?
I do not believe you.
Oh, okay. The brother man. Okay. I see you. All that so you could have your James Brown moment?
Seek out the weakness that allowed this betrayal
What weakness would that be?
and purge it from our midst.
So this asshat went and caused another purge. So half the reason y'all was decimated because of this idiot. Oh my God. That's hilarious. He said, no, Mohawks. All this because you was angry that that you can't beat Thetis? Am I surprised Thrag's a little bitch though? No. That's hilarious. You know, obviously Thetis's virus did a lot of damage, but I feel like Thrag did more. Loser. Although it's also a good strategy to keep anyone from challenging him for the throne if everyone's half dead. Yeah, your homeland's looking great. What's the expression? Burn it all down so you can be king of the ashes? There you go, pal. So shouldn't y'all now fight each other?
It is done.
Why do you get to decide that?
I will not repeat myself.
Hey, the challenge is for everybody, is it not?
Yes, Grand Regent.
Oh, y'all weak. I would have gone after him. All three of you should have gone after him. It was everybody's up for debate, right?
For even in death, Argal still guides us.
No, not hearing a thing.
The universe itself will kneel as it was meant to be.
My little black girl made it. Unfortunately. She probably died, though, in the virus. Ooh, that's very Reiki. How's that going for you, Thrag? Everybody dead.
The rest are on their way there, but will not arrive for several days. This is our chance.
This feels rushed.
Won't that still leave us with 40-something extra pissed-off Viltrumites out for revenge?
Will they still be organized?
And directionless, fighting amongst themselves, as they did before. It will not be easy. But once Thrag
When
is
do they have
gone,
time to shave?
we have a chance to end this war forever.
Any one of us, so you're weaker than Thrag?
But it is worth any price to show the Viltrum Empire once
Oliver, the only one smiling, the two kids.
that even their strength does not make
Tentacard!
Apparently he was specially trained from birth to be the strongest Viltrumite
Oh, okay,
ever.
so that's why he's on the throne. Got it.
And my dad's freaking out about facing him.
Maybe it's hype?
You're never even gonna see this because I love you and I'm coming back.
That is the mentality we need you to maintain.
I just never have much of an appetite when I'm nervous. Also,
You're gonna eat bugs?
those things have faces.
Yeah, and they're crying.
Why is everyone so nervous about fighting this Thrag guy? No
Oh.
way he lives up to the hype.
Sweet summer child.
What do they say?
That he lives up to the hype.
Damn it, I was wrong.
We will feast on our enemies' entrails.
So good.
If you could eat anything right now, what would it be?
Burger Mart drive-through.
Sure.
Actually, if I really had to pick,
Mom's cooking?
Paul's spaghetti. He's my mom's boyfriend. He makes
Uh-oh.
his own meatballs and everything.
Nolan, you've been replaced.
Final meal will be my own blood as I choke on it, breathing my last breath after a legendary battle with a superior opponent.
We get it.
This is the best chance we've had in centuries to end this conflict.
Does he have the virus with him?
They'll be weak and scattered without him.
And yet still capable of untold death.
Yeah, the
and
weakest
destruction.
Viltrumite is still a big problem for most
I will
planets
not
from the looks of
risk even the
things.
smallest chance their empire could rise again.
There, you say like you're not one of them. Very interesting.
Mark and Oliver are part Viltrumite.
Thetis is
Back
coming
to
too.
robes? Well, I think we need Thetis,
It's
don't
like
we?
A million years.
You have a problem with him?
Never mind.
Right?
Listen to me.
He held his own on the
However
planet.
strong you think you are, Thrag is stronger.
Damn it.
That also means you don't try to take him on alone, Oliver.
Specifically you.
If anything happens, just remember
Say it.
We know. Ugh.
Let them get it out.
When you find him, call in everyone else.
Remember, Thrag's death is the only thing that matters.
I feel like it's not gonna go that simply. It never does. So much
What are you
focus
waiting
on
for?
these two. One is definitely not coming back. Possibly both.
yes. After Emperor Argal's assassination,
Those are all the dead people.
it wasn't long before the Scourge virus came and took almost all of us.
Nolan's still a little bit salty, huh? This isn't gonna be traumatizing at all for Oliver. He's waiting on you. That concealment goes both ways. Thrag said, I knew he was coming, hoes. I really didn't expect him to be hanging on the planet.
This changes nothing.
Not they fooled you. Brought you back to where they wanted you.
Coming.
Yeah.
Yes!
That'll be mind your oxygen pack is what you need to do. Okay, someone give this hoe a haircut, finally. Dumbass having that attached to your head. It looks good as far as design, but functionally speaking, stupid.
You dare return here!
Shut up. Mark, you actually have a score to settle with her. Bye, Steve Harvey.
Okay, it worked.
I should have killed you both on Thraxa!
But you didn't. Yeah, that hurts. Take out his other eye.
Oliver!
You have to focus on your own fight. I know Oliver's concerned, but if he's out here, you gotta fight. This is kind of cool showing how frustrating this kind of is with gravity, like no gravity to kind of stabilize.
Made you soft.
You know what's also soft? Your face.
More! More!
Yeah, he actually gets off on this, sis. Go boom! The fact that Thrag is still very calmly watching this is not sitting well with me. I didn't expect him to get in there. He's definitely a one-on-one egomaniac, but... Hey there, Speed Racer! Oh, didn't even flinch. He about to kill you.
Kill him before he fires again.
It's not my gun you should be worried about.
Really? Oh, he brought friends! Do they work as well without their grab? I guess they do. They don't have as much control, though. Yep, they got it!
These things are doing just fine on their own.
They really are. They got a lot of rage. We're going to Thrag. Are we gonna lose Nolan, guys? Oh! Punched you all the way back to Earth. Or whatever you name your planet is. Just stay there, Nolan. You did your best. Just stay there. Okay, so Thrag. Oh, what's the weather like here?
It's been too long, Nolan.
Who the frack? Oh, he followed you.
Come home, Nolan.
No.
Come home, and all will be forgiven.
Don't believe you and no.
We have no home. This place is a tomb.
It's a wasteland.
We will restore it to what it was,
We won't.
as we will restore our people to their rightful place in the galaxy.
You're not my family anymore.
But the man who almost caused our extinction is...
Did he say that?
And yet you fight beside him.
Yeah, well, because
He
you guys are
committed
crazy.
genocide on his own people.
Deserved.
Stop us from committing it on others.
Hmm.
Like coming after my sons.
We tested your sons, as we have all been tested.
He didn't ask you to do that, did he?
Do you think Thetis will be as kind to them if he wins this war?
I'm mighty pissed because truly and really, Thetis should be the one fighting Thrag right now. Again, Mark? I don't think he's very tough without that gun. Well, that sucks.
Repairing exterior object.
How long? Well, I mean, you did. Come on, buddy. Woo! I was like, you held on for 100 years.
Thank you.
Oh, get it together and shoot. Really, we're going all the way back to the hall and shit. Okay. Well, I guess it's better than getting your guts ripped out.
Argal showed us this.
Argal died like a bitch,
Our true power.
and that should have been your first lesson.
Fighting for him is fighting for your own destruction.
Maybe we need to be destroyed in this case.
But it doesn't have to end with our extinction. Agree to terms, and I will stop this, no matter what Thetis wants.
Would our Emperor ever agree to terms?
Look what happened to your emperor, loser.
We lost.
God. It's like looking in a mirror.
The death of any Viltrumite leaves a void in me.
Bullshit. You sent them to fight each other. Batman can suck you into the punch? No, by God, breaking atmosphere. Yeah, no. It's on a different level. They weren't lying. The hype is real.
Dickhead! A black hole call. He wants it sucked.
What did your parents tell you? What did everybody tell you? Some lessons gotta be learned the hard way. Oh no.
Oliver!
He was no brother to you.
I killed Conquest.
He did.
I'll kill you too.
He did. Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that?
Show me.
Oh, well, Mark's gonna fall for it. You know, Mark, that a lot of that was because... Did you see the demon? I saw the demon come through!
I'm not impressed.
I'm not trying to impress you, ho. What is that? Oh, Nolan's still flying through God damn, Nolan! He don't want to kill you, though. Oliver, Boo Bear. She just gonna dodge that, too. Oh, at least we hit her a little. This fustercluck. Things are going south in a handbasket. Kind of thought it would, though. Even Steve Harvey's still in it. He just healed. He just healed. Well, joke's on you. You don't know that Mark can take a beating. He wanted that grandiose death. You're gonna get it now, BB.
Everyone with me! Now!
Alan's like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm coming. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Out front!
You gonna destroy home? Because I'm kind of about it.
No way, we can't! Mark, trust me!
I think we need to trust your dad on this one. Please.
No!
Can you outrun a beam thrag? Oh, the fireworks. Pretty, if anyone was alive to enjoy it.
Keep close! Hold together!
Mark's like, this is my first time and I don't know what we're doing. We blowing up the planet, aren't we? We're blowing up the planet. And that ugly ass skull. Oh, guess you can't fight shockwaves. Thank the Lord. What was that about rebuilding? You're probably gonna come to Earth next though. That's going through the planet's core, isn't it? Yep, they're like, we going straight to hell. Our version. Viltrumite version of hell, here we go. Well, you ripped his son's arm off, that's what you get. Well, Thrag, since you're super, super strong and able to do so much, fix this. Damn, Viltrum off the map. No? Well, they might be naked by the end of it. Close your eyes, Mark. Out the other side yet? They've been flying forever. Magma be hot. And it's probably like super extra hot on Viltrum. Oh, I love the symbolism of that asshole statue finally crumbling. Oh, there go here, body and his skull. Oh. Oh, well, the Underoos survived, thank goodness. Ow, damn. That Space Racer's beam is insane. It's still going. Just want to note, guys, it's been like 5 minutes of one scene. I'm just going through this planet. That's bonkers. But where are we gonna go for oxygen now? Oh, the ship's still there, never mind. The way Nolan's so unfazed. Mark's like, ow, ow! Nolan's like, anyway. Nolan and Theta is just old school G's. It should just be a pop. There's no air in space. That should have been a pop. But anyway. Oh, my girl! Someone grab my girl! Well, Mark, that was the planet that your grandparents came from?
It was the only way to show them the truth.
Was it?
Oliver, where's
Yeah,
Oliver?
thank you. Can we check on him? He's just bleeding out somewhere. Sorry, creep.
Surrender is your only option.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know if it's gonna be. Oh, he has tears. Ooh, the immediate square up.
Choose death.
Leave and die. What do we have to do with it?
You are avenged.
I mean, fair enough. They just did deserve to die. Honestly, like, even though the Viltrumites are a scourge, what he did was pretty awful.
Oh, God.
Can we recover later?
Alan, find Oliver. Alan!
Snap to it.
Destroyed everything.
I don't know what you're gonna be able to do in all this, Mark, but I feel like Nolan's gonna have to die to save Mark.
Quick with Thetis. I won't make the same mistake with you.
Oh, okay. Well, monologuing might save him, but I don't know, guys.
All a little surprised and upset about what just happened.
Right? He's like, I didn't know the plan. I really didn't. Not this again. Oh, he learned to at least dodge one of them. Oh, why are you fighting each other? Black on black crime. We don't need to do this. Oh my God, girl. Zoe, what are you doing?
I got him.
No, you don't.
And where's Oliver? We can't help him.
We have to try for Oliver. Please try to find Oliver. I agree with the Mark and Nolan thing. Y'all are not equipped. Sure. No. Well, I don't think you can outrun him if your dad can't.
You could have been a Viltrumite.
He never wanted to be.
To be.
How do we beat him?
I don't think you can.
Mark.
He's saying goodbye. Loved you, Nolan, man. The way that didn't even make us scratch. We have blind Mark. I think Nolan's coming back. So final season, guys? Look at that. You killing off who's left. You lost either way. You lost either way. Look at that. Was that worth it? That's the dream, right? That's the dream you fighting for.
Kill him. They destroyed our home.
We are too few already.
Okay.
What are your orders, Grand Regent?
Sheep to the last. You're going to Earth. That's the only planet they know for certainty they can breed with that's not going to be beneath them. Damn. Bad day for the Graysons. All three of the Grayson men just toe up. I mean, Mark's probably got the least. He definitely has some internal injuries and his eyes will need to take some time. But Nolan, just to the Mark special. Can we suck them up? Where's Oliver? No one? We're just gonna stare? Okay. I feel like the planets exploding was far more traumatizing than those two floating in space.
Tell you, you guys sure know how to stress a open out.
Where's the baby?
Where's Oliver? Where's my dad?
Uh-oh. Okay, Oliver's still alive. Okay.
Dad.
Oh. That's a hug moment. Give him a hug. There you go.
You're alive.
Barely.
Woke up yesterday.
Just have to outdo Mark.
What happened to Thrag and the others?
They retreated for now.
What's the last thing you remember?
Getting my eyes squeezed out.
Why do you let us live?
Good question.
Where are they?
That is the thing.
Earth.
So the council asks someone to lead until there's time to appoint his replacement. Believe it or not, it's this guy.
I'm not against it.
They mostly want me to deal with one small problem.
The remaining Viltrumites.
Small.
The hiding is a good sign.
No, it's
right?
not.
It's not generally what Viltrumites like to,
I'd rather them reaching out and running in desperation.
They've gone to Earth.
Eye for an eye. They're like, Nolan may not give a damn about Viltrum no more, but he gives a damn about Earth. He knows that, and he knows that Mark Strategically, it makes sense for two reasons. One, like I said, he now knows, thanks to Mark, that humans are probably the best option for them to repopulate if there's ever a chance to do that. And two, because it's a way to get all of them back in line, right? They have stakes. What Nolan did was baller in one sense, but the downside was he literally gave Thrag and the remaining Viltrumites nothing left to lose short of their lives, right? And this is where, the argument always comes in of, whether or not it's a good idea to have a family or love people, because it gives you an inherent weak spot. And that is the case here, in that we all know that all Mark, Oliver, and Nolan all have people they love on Earth, outside of just loving humans in general. But they have very specific reasons they do not want Earth to end up like Viltrum. Mark has Eve, and I'm going to just tell myself Amber as well, as well as his best friend, not to mention everyone else on Earth that he cares about, the Guardians, etc. And obviously Oliver also still has his mom. So all that to say that it's a genius plan, in the sense of, if Thrag holds a literal chokehold on Earth, saying that if you don't do what we want you to do, Nolan, Mark, those two in particular, he didn't care about Oliver. But as long as those two fall in line, you're like, I won't destroy your planet, but we're going to use it to repopulate, right? So it sucks, but it was always kind of a risk. I mean, honestly, I think Viltrum is going to end up there at some point anyways. But yeah, Nolan unfortunately put a huge fire under their butts for doing that, right? He changed the plan significantly by doing what he did. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, this episode, there's not a ton to say, because so much of it was just the battle. I think that the most poignant part of the episode was probably the conversation between Thrag and Nolan. I did not expect that they chatted at all, but I guess it makes sense, because obviously over time, Nolan was one of their strongest and best, so he would have talked to Thrag often. But there was clearly a respect there. And I would say the closest thing that these twisted Viltrumites ever feel to affection or love between Thrag and Nolan, right? I don't think it was mutual. I think that for Nolan, it was very much, okay, you're my boss and whatever. And I've said that multiple times, Nolan's never ever fully bought into the dogma of the Viltrumites. But for Thrag, it looks like there was maybe two people that he really had real affection for, if there is any to have. And that was Argyle, and that was more like a worship he had for that man, definitely deified him in his mind. And then Nolan. Because I noted that every time that Thrag hit Nolan, it was never fatal. Even that last move he did, like every hit he gave Nolan was not a fatal one, not a truly fatal, there's no coming back from this hit. And that said to me that Nolan means something to Thrag. If Thrag felt there was ever a sibling that he had out of who is left, it was Nolan. So all that to say that, the conversation between the two of them was meaningful, because for Thrag, he really did want Nolan to come back. Not just because Nolan's one of their strongest soldiers that's remaining, really because he genuinely cared about Nolan, and he thought that Nolan was like someone who shared the vision as far as the Viltrum dream. And again, that shows that he really didn't know Nolan, because if he did, he would have realized Nolan was never really with the program. But that's what he chose to kind of believe. He needed that because, as I've said multiple times, I do think that all the Viltrumites are like Nolan to some degree, in that they feel the need for connection and they feel very dissociated and unhappy, but they just don't know what else to do. The dogma is all they have, right? And so, and again, after everything they've done, I think is another thing, Nolan's dealing with that right now, but after everything they've done, they have to kind of believe that the dogma is real, because they've done so many horrible things. How do you justify it? And even if they don't care about the other planets and the things that they've destroyed there, I think what's really the part that makes them go, oh, it has to be worth it, is probably what they did to each other, right? The fact that we got the flashback of, we already went through the Great Purge the first time. Right, went through the Great Purge. There was a lot of death, a lot of things. We're killing people on the daily anyways with these new trials. And then Argyle dies. And what the first thing Thrag does is say, now do another purge. Like, go ahead and kill even more of it. Like, what? How did that make any sense? And it's so sad, because Thrag is so deluded and so broken that he doesn't realize how messed up and how hypocritical and dysfunctional this cycle is that he's created, as far as this whole Viltrumite way. Like, there's no win. There's no winning here. It's always a loss to the Viltrumites. Outside of the fact that at one point their planet, yes, it was prosperous and it had, all the latest and greatest and stuff, but that's it. That's literally where it ended. There was nothing else that they had other than just their existence. And twice they went through and did a major purge by their own hands. For what? For what? And then the hilarity of it all, more than half of them, no, actually like 90% of them being taken out by a virus. But anyway, coming back, the conversation between he and Nolan, the very, I think, real and honest plea to him, asking him to come back. I think the reason why Thrag wanted to have that privately with Nolan and not around the other Viltrumites is because, you know, for all that he preaches about detachment and being about the cause and, you know, having this iron will and being unflappable, it was a moment of vulnerability for him to ask Nolan to come back. Ask, by the way, not order, not demand, ask. That's a moment of vulnerability. That shows that he respected Nolan. It shows that he wanted Nolan to come back willingly. He didn't have to, right? Like we already saw that Thrag had the ability to kill Nolan at any given point. He could have said, Nolan, you come back right now or it's done. And Nolan said no and could have done it. But out of respect, which he did have for Nolan, and like I said, whatever form of love that these guys feel for Nolan, he gave him the opportunity. He asked him. He wanted him to willingly be there. He wanted his kids, or at least Mark for certain, to be a part of it because he cared that Nolan cared about his kids, right? Again, Thrag could have just wiped out Mark and because we saw him. He was sitting there just hovering like a gangster, not breathing for God knows how long, waiting for these guys to show up, sat there watching, observing, knowing that these two kids are a weak spot for Nolan. If he really, really wanted to be baller like that, he could have wiped out Mark and Oliver immediately and been like, okay, Nolan, you got no more ties, no more kids, come back. But he didn't do any of that. Sent him back to the planet, tried to appeal to him emotionally by like, look, you're home. This is our home. Doesn't it mean anything to you? This is where it all started. Don't you remember the warm, fuzzy memories? Like, let's rebuild it. And I love that Nolan was just like, I'm unmoved. Like, bro, it never moved me in the first place, to be perfectly honest. But I've seen what it is now. I know what a real world full of life and love and joy and sentiment and connection is like. He's not a Viltrumite in that way anymore, right? That Viltrum, the Viltrum that Thrag wants to revive, was never the one that Nolan wanted to be a part of. Maybe the Viltrum that was before Argyle and his psychosis, but the one that Thrag wants to revive, that's dead and dusted to Nolan. And I love that he used the words, this place is a tomb. Look at it. It's an effigy to a twisted and broken culture that we should let go of. We should let it die. We don't have to die. And I love that, you know, Nolan came back with a counteroffer. He's like, I know that Thetis wants us to be wiped off the planet. I don't agree with that. I think he's gone to one extreme. Like Viltrumites went to one extreme. Thetis went to a complete other one. Neither was right. He's like, I think we can try to find balance here. He's like, if you tell the others, like, let's just cut this. Y'all just pull back your troops. Leave the galaxy alone. We all, for the first time in our lives, decide what the hell we want to do for ourselves and just leave people alone. And I'll tell Thetis, ain't no way we're going to do this no more. We're not going to try to wipe out Viltrumites. Nolan's like, we could just call it a draw right now, even though y'all don't deserve it for all that you've done, himself included, to be honest. But yeah, he's like, let's give ourselves a chance to redeem. And of course, like I wasn't surprised. Like with Thrag, the conditioning is so deep. It's so deep. It's part of who he is. And hearing that he was basically a military experiment, like it sounds like he's like the Alan of the Viltrumites. You know, Alan was like the Unopan guinea pig for like the strongest, most whatever of the Unopans. It sounds like that's what Thrag is. And I was wondering, remember I've been asking since the beginning of the season, like, what's so special about Thrag? He looks younger than Nolan, but I guess he's older actually. So now that I know from the flashback, he's in fact older than Nolan. But anyway, I'm like, he looks young. What's so important to him? Why are people like who's like Conquest, who are seemingly stronger, listening to this kid? And now I know why, because he was genetically engineered to be stronger than all of them. Why he listened to Argyle is interesting, but I guess that's also the power of dogma, right? But anyway, coming back, Thrag is just too, like his whole life from the sounds of things, from the very conception of him, he just doesn't know anything else. He can't fathom anything else. I don't think he's actually left Viltrum very much either from the sounds of things. Like if he took over, if he was always by Argyle's side first and foremost, and then he took over after Argyle died and then was trying to do everything from, you know, most likely almost always operating from Viltrum, he never had an experience like Nolan, right? And now we learned, like Thetis, right? We now find out the reason that Thetis changed is because he spent, what did they say? They didn't actually give a time. They just said he spent many, many years out of whatever that system was. My guess is he had a Nolan experience. Being away from the Viltrumite dogma, being away from the air of propaganda constantly being in his ear, being away from all the other Viltrumites, it gave him time to actually be in himself, be in his own thoughts, experience something without all of that coming into him constantly. And that's when he started to realize his own thoughts, his own feelings, and let himself feel the fact that, hey, where we come from is pretty twisted and I don't like it anymore. right? And I really like that they showed that both Nolan and Thetis had a very similar experience and like how it changed them, or I shouldn't say changed them, but affected them to break free. Because the insidious thing about propaganda is that a lot of times the people who are consuming it don't realize that they're consuming it, right? Like that's the best propagandas out there are so complete and so woven into everything in your life and in your world that you don't realize you're being indoctrinated. And we see that, you know, that's what triggered him trying to make changes and trying to appeal to everybody to do something different and to believe in something different. But for Thrag, you know, he was just too deeply involved. He never got a chance to get away. He never got the chance to not breathe the propaganda. I mean, it sounds like he was right up Argyl's ass, so he couldn't even breathe without smelling Argyl's farts, let alone have his own you know, thought process and really consider what he might want outside of it. So yeah, unsurprisingly, Nolan was unable to move him. And we see the utter frustration in Argyl when he realizes that Nolan is not going to budge and he's not going to change and he's not going to come over to the other side. And so, you know, we see that the battle continues. Like, again, I just think it was great the way they illustrated this episode, how OP Thrag is. Like, he made Nolan look like a rag doll. And we know that Nolan's no joke, right? Nolan is no joke. Although I will say that I do feel that Nolan holds back. I do think that Nolan still does hold back to an extent because of that little piece of conscience that's always been in his subconscious. But still, the point is Thrag's OP, right? Everyone was scared of him for a reason. So, but again, as I said, everything he did to Nolan, it was never really to kill him. Even that last move, right? Obviously, super, super painful. But unlike Conquest, he didn't pull all the intestines out and stroll them across the galaxy. He didn't cut Nolan's head off, didn't crush his skull, left him in a spot or left him in a way that if rescued, Nolan would recover. And he knew that subconsciously. He'll never tell me otherwise. But anyway, we see that, you know, once that happened, he got a hold of Mark. Love that Mark went and tried to help his dad. Like, Mark had to know on some level that if his dad couldn't handle Thrag, he surely couldn't. But I think Mark's feeling a little, he's feeling a little confident in the fact that he beat Conquest, which that was another great moment too, when Mark said, hey, I killed Conquest, I'll kill you too. And all of them were like, all the other Viltrumites were like, seriously, Mark? Him, the half kid? Huh. They all took a minute to be like, wait, actually. But anyways, love that he did go out there and didn't think twice about trying to help his dad, even though it was very futile. And once again, I know that Thrag, even though he was doing what he was doing, I know he had no intention of killing Mark, not just because of plot armor, but because, again, I think he, much like Nolan, I think he sees the same spark in Mark that he saw in Nolan. I feel like that's really what Thrag craves, is that spark of real passion and real desire for something, because Thrag doesn't really have it, right? Not truly. Yeah, he cares about Viltrum. Yeah, he cares about the mission, but it's all for a dead man, right? It's all for a dead dream, and it's empty, but he doesn't have anything else. So, you know, he really is at this point of no return. And I do love that, you know, once he saw that, you know, when he was trying to slowly take Mark out, which again, he could have killed Mark in an instant. We saw how quickly he dealt with Oliver. He could have done the same with Mark, but you see that he looks at his broken world and he sees Nolan, the person he does care about. He sees Mark, the kid that does impress him despite his words, and he realizes he doesn't want to kill them, right? Like, yes, it's true, their numbers are still low, but you know for a fact you can't turn Nolan, right? You know you can't turn Nolan. It's not even Thetis. Thetis is dead. You still can't turn Nolan. You'll never turn his kids. Why not take them out? Why not take out traitors, right? We saw early in the episode, he said, kill all the traitors. Lost God knows how many Viltrumites saying, yeah, we gotta take out the weak and the traitors. You could have taken out 2. Out of the big grand scheme of things, taking out 2 more traitors would have been a big deal, but he couldn't do it. Yes, plot armor, but you know what I mean? Like, it says a lot about where Thrag's heart and his head are at, and even he doesn't understand it yet. He doesn't know why he can't do it, why he won't pull the trigger. That's why you saw when the other Viltrumites came, they're like, hey, yo, by the standards you set for us, you should be taking these 2 out. Why aren't you doing it? And he can't even give them a real answer. He's just like, there's too few of us. We gotta go. But also, I feel like at that moment, the manifesto started to hit him that this makes no sense. I should kill them, but there's none of us. And I'm saying we're supposed to rebuild. Like, none of this is making sense. So anyways, sad, you know, that Nolan kind of had to get his ass whooped again because, you know, he did get that before. This is the second time he's been run through in the middle. But thankfully, he survived. I wasn't sure. I was like, oh, I feel like the show might be killing Nolan off. And again, if he died, it would suck because I really still think there's more of his story to go. But it is Mark's story, so if it happened, it happened. But anyways, I'm glad that none of the Grayson boys died. We did lose Thetis, as I said in the episode. I didn't really feel any way or the other about Thetis, to be perfectly honest. I think his story was long over. Right? He's already done what his purpose was. He did a lot of damage. I said in the episode when we found out what he did that I don't agree. I understand why he did it. I'm not saying he was necessarily completely out there for doing it, but there was a lot of kids, you know, the younger generation could have been trained to be different. Like, there were other options. He just chose not to explore them. And really, as I said earlier, he just went to another extreme of Argyle. You know, Argyle went to one side, he went to another. He wasn't right. And honestly, for the billions that died for his virus, him having a quick death was more than fair, to be perfectly honest. So anyway, he's gone. And of course, the coalition is without a leader that they've had for entirely too long. But I do like the idea of Alan being there. I do think that he's actually more level-headed and smart than he gives off. I know he sounds like a dude bro, but he's proven since season 2 that he's a lot smarter than he comes off. So I think he's a level-headed and impartial enough person to do the job. Is there anything else really? Glad that the girl, what's her name, Tech Jacket, made it. I really thought she was a goner, so there's some plot armor for her too. But you know, she did her bit. She definitely helped out, so I'm glad she's still with us. You know, Alan, I like that Alan seems like he got a little bit, maybe it's just me, but it did seem like Alan was starting to recognize towards the end of the fight that he's actually stronger than most of these guys. You know what I mean? Like when he just kind of it's like he started to fight smarter towards the end. I'm not sure what that was about, but maybe it's because some of them had already been infected by the juice or whatever, the bug juice or whatever. But either way, I kind of like that Alan seems to be slowly growing more into himself as well. I think that's a little subplot with that as well. And I'm all about it because I think he's one of the least problematic characters we've got in this show. So that's kind of cool. And I guess he'll be grounded for now if he's got to run the coalition. Although they said that they've given him the mission of taking out the remaining Viltrumites before they appoint anybody else. So the question is now, what do they do? Because as we ended the episode, we know everybody is headed back to Earth. Is Battleby still alive now that I think about it? I think Battleby somehow survived. But yeah, now we know that the Viltrumites are headed back to Earth because obviously they don't have a home base anymore. Do I think what Nolan did by blowing up the planet was right? I would say yes and no. I mean, I think Viltrum was done for. I understand why he tried to shatter the illusion for Thrag, but the thing about people who are delusional cultists, they don't think rationally. So doing something like this, I think, just upped the ante of the desperation, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't know if Viltrum had to go for that to happen, but I'm not mad at it in the sense of it really was kind of at that point a memorial to a group of people that just were not good for anyone. So I don't know. I'm of the mind that was it necessary? No. But am I mad at it? No. You know, that's kind of where I'm at where that's concerned. But either way, the Viltrumites are going to need a new home base, and Earth is the most suitable. So that is probably a side effect Nolan did not think through. So I am interested to see what that's going to mean. I mean, we only have one episode left, I believe, this season. So what we're going to do, how this is going to happen, what Earth's even going to begin to do. I just feel like it's going to be a lot of bloodshed. There's going to be a lot of bloodshed, and I'm really hoping we don't lose anyone human in the fray of it all, because yeah, there's a lot of fragile humans on Earth, and God help us if Thrag figures out the importance of Debbie to all of those people, all of the traitors. Deb is a linchpin for sure. So yeah, another good episode, guys. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along. If you did, please show some love, and I'll see you in the next one.